Thanks for tuning in again. It's another edition of Toro Talk. I'm Joel Norman, and we're joined by the assistant coach of the Mason City Toros, Marquise Cotten. Coach, hard to believe it. We're at this point, felt like it was just yesterday we were doing our first Toro Talk. The regular season wraps up this weekend, and who else for it to be against but the Granite City Lumberjacks? How exciting is this to have this kind of test right before the start of the postseason against a team who you know is at the top of your division?
I think it's huge for us and our guys. I mean, I believe we're peaking at the right time. We have a good group of guys in the locker, and guys are rolling right now. We're healthy, so that's always a good sign. So, hopefully we get some confidence out of this week and rolling in the playoffs.
It feels like the mood around the team is really good right now. Obviously, it helps sweeping New Ulm last weekend, the 2 wins, but it feels like this team's in a really good place. Would you agree with that?
Yes, 100%. I think we're in a really, really good spot. Nick and I talk about it constantly, how, the energy at practice has been really good.
Granite's a phenomenal team. It's been a heck of a matchup this season every time these two teams have played. A lot of games have been close, but they've won all but one of them against you guys. What's the key to knocking them off here this weekend?
I think staying together is going to be huge, and just playing hard, playing a playoff-style game. It's always been a playoff-style game with those guys. I don't think we've had one game that wasn't a good hockey game to watch. So I think that'll just be our biggest pieces going into it.
I like how you bring up that playoff style, and I think a lot of people assume when they hear playoff hockey, they assume lower scoring, a little bit more physical. Is that something you feel like the Toros are well adapted to at this point in the season?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you look at the last couple times we've played Granite, the one game was a 6-5 game. We played tight, and it was a physical. It felt like a low-scoring game, and we kept it pretty much even. So it is going to be that style of game.
Right, that one game was at the end of January, and it was an unconventional type of game between these two teams. It feels like every time the Toros and the Lumberjacks score up, you expect low scoring, but that one was a bit high scoring, and maybe that's something we'll be anticipating this time around. Speaking of high scoring, your power play was fantastic last weekend. On Saturday, 4 for 6 on the man advantage. I mean, just lights out numbers. What was the key for the power play clicking?
I think it's just reps. They get a lot of reps together, and that's something that we do like to focus on here, especially in playoffs, being more special teams, and so we just put it on those guys, and they tend to do what they do. So
yeah, and Blake Olvey was certainly a big help on that. He took in that center spot. Cal Levis was hurt. We started to see Olvey kind of get his legs under him. Boy, did he announce himself to fans this past weekend. What's impressed you most about him so far?
Well, we knew at the beginning of the year Blake is going to be a big piece for us, and it was a very unfortunate time for his injury. But it's really good to have him back. He's great in the locker room, and it's just been nice having him back. He's just an all-around good player, and adds a nice little bit to our team.
2 goals for him last Saturday. The other player with 2 goals that night was Carter Newpower. He is tied right now for the scoring lead in the NA3HL. Obviously, that's not something you guys are checking every single day, but just looking at it as a whole, how impressive is it that he's at this point in the season?
It's huge. It's good for him, for sure, and especially him having the tender for next year to play for North Iowa Bulls. I think it's a good boost for the guys, and it lets them know that we're pulling for him, and we always like to have him out there.
Absolutely. We talked about the special teams. I want to talk about the penalty killing. You did allow the 1 power play goal last weekend, but you guys got that shorthanded goal. Nick Howell, take me through that one, because that was a play that just kind of, as a lot of shorthanded goals seem to be, it just kind of evolved thanks to speed going the other way. What was the key for that goal? And to me, like I said, Howell's speed certainly helped get that start.
Yeah, no, 100%. Our PK guys are really good, and they work their bags off every day, and it's huge that when we tell them just stay with it and keep going, and our guys love to block shots, so that's been a big theme for us all year, and the guys having the willingness to go down for those shots or even just eat those shots, it's been huge for the transition the other direction, and that's what happened there on Howell's goal. Willingness to possibly take a shot, puck gets flubbed, and he just goes the other way and tucks it.
And the PK is certainly going to be huge against Granite City, isn't it?
Yes, 100%, Joel.
Yeah, that's the way they've been able to just pass the puck. I'd say the only team who's done it better at times might have been the Toros in certain games, but it's going to be a heck of a matchup. Coach, thank you for joining us. Let's go get some wins this weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was assistant coach Marquise Cotten joining us, and this has been Toro Talk.